NAB AFLW National Development Championships is brought to you by NAB, More Than Money, and Front Row Screens, your local streaming superheroes.
Hello and welcome to the NAB AFLW National Development Championships here at Provident Financial Oval, the home of the West Perth Falcons. Today we see WA Gold taking on WA Black in the female 16s intra-squad match. It's game 2, Gold versus Black. Jen Wallace joined here by state coach and former premiership line Bo McDonald. Bo, welcome back for game 2 of this series between Gold and Black.
Thanks, Jen. It's great to be here. A lovely day out here at Joondalup. The deck's looking fantastic. And yeah, the second game for these girls, Black versus Gold. We've got a few extra players that didn't play in the first game, which we get to have a look at today, which is really exciting. And the reason they missed the first game, which is even more exciting, is they're playing league footy. So that hasn't happened before with the 16s program. So very good. So we'll get to see a couple of girls drop back and have a run today, which is great.
So the first game of this series just a week ago, Black were leading by 12 in the fourth quarter, but there was 2 late goals to Gold and it brought the scores level, and that's how it remained when the sirens sounded. What were your takeaways quickly from game 1? I
think that the first thing we spoke about in the review during the week is just the difference between the first and the second quarter. Obviously, the girls were a bit timid in the first quarter. They hadn't played together before, and it was a lot of straight up and down sort of footy. So the big message today is just really don't worry about making the wrong decision. Pull the trigger. Let's try and get it out the other side of the ground. Let's play some fun and exciting footy. Yeah, they're difficult games, obviously, because they're all brought in from different clubs. We don't throw too much structure around them because the whole purpose of this is we want to see what abilities they've got. So yeah, really looking forward to today. And that was probably the main takeout, is let's be a bit more bold with our ball use.
And how far-reaching is this program? Have we got much country talent coming in to the city today to join the Metro players?
Look, there's a few, but it's very difficult for the country kids. We know what the barriers are there. I used to live in Karratha for 6 or 7 years, and it's $300 a flight to come down just one way, so it can get quite expensive. So, look, if you want to try and get into the pathways, you've got to get to Perth, really. That's where the action's at. But we certainly try and accommodate our country people as much. And I reckon in the women's space, it's the next step for us to really start branching out our fingers into the regional networks.
Well, as we look only moments away from the start of this first quarter, I'll get you to point out as we go through some of the stars in the making, as we're really witnessing next generation of WA footy talent here today up in Joondalup at Provident Financial Oval.
The 2 girls that have come back from league footy, first we've got Zipporah Fish, so Zippy Fish, she's played some league footy for East Fremantle. She's a really fast, highly skilled player. Georgia Haynes, also at Peel Thunder, she can play on ball, and she's a very strong on baller.
And we're away here. First tap down, one out by Black, kicking it forward towards their attacking 50, going to be brought through by Gold here. They've got numbers, trying to work it through hands, connecting nicely through the corridor, but it has just been shut down. Zippy Fish, the number that you were just talking about. Bo gets it forward for the first inside 50 for Black. Rowley corralled well by defence there from Gold. Blizzard. She overkicks the target now. Gold should be able to recover on that far wing. See how well they use the space. Will it be a matter of settling into that first quarter once again, as you mentioned from last week, Bo?
Yeah. Yeah, let's hope they take some risks.
It's a ball right on the far wing, away from us at the grandstand.
So this is what we saw a lot of last week, everyone over one side of the ground. So we're really encouraging them to try and get it out to this side.
So looking for some switches, bring it back in. It's going to be 2-on-2 contest. It falls out the Black in the favour of Black, hooking it around into the centre corridor. But as you said, there's no one else this side of the play. A nice connection, finds Cruz. Cruz on the right. Comes forward inside 50. Doesn't take the mark there, Stanners. And it falls on the way for Black to bring it back out of defence. A hot tackle affects her kick, and it's in contest again. Gold coming through with it at the moment. Thomas looking to work the way out. They go backwards in order to come forward. Smothered potentially by her own player there as well, unfortunately for Gold. As Black now look to find the hands through the middle. Can they clear it out of this area? No, Gold coming back through again by Blizzard. Puts it on the right. It's 1 on 3. Tumbles into the 50. Far pocket. Plenty of black around the ball. I think they'll be able to defuse this, and they do. There's not much ahead of them, though. Fish. And she used all her experience, turns inside. Will she find a target? She does, but it's Blizzard again, who's been on it early.
So we can see the black team's trying to come inside. It's just probably not getting the skill part of it right.
On the bounce. Now we've seen that switch across. It's a nice bit of work. Settles down. There's players out coming to this closer wing, grandstand wing, so that switch has continued. They're using the space nicely now, Bo.
Yep.
Nice spoil. Good hand in there from Haynes, that player that you'd mentioned off the top. League experience. Got the pole right in my way now. Bo's I disappear to be able to see where we're going. Good tackle. Black throws it on the boot. Is it our first chance for a score? No, it's just come back across the front of goal, the face of goal. We'll have a throw in a dangerous position.
That was some terrific ball movement there by the black team, and we just want to really encourage, and as the skills improve, the ball speed and the ability to be able to do that quicker will improve as well.
You could see the open up as soon as they found the space. That connection's important. Ball under the pack at the moment. It's a chance here for black. Thrown on the boot. Will it be our first score of the day? Not quite. It takes a nasty bounce and it saves goal there. Hot contest. Stanners in under the middle of it with that knee brace. Haynes. Oh, they work their way out of it nicely. Diffuse it well, but it's going to come back again, you would think here. Papa's just ran on from the interchange. She finds herself in a good position here, the number 10 for black. Loopy hand pass, wasn't able to get over the top of the goal defenders. A couple of smothers in there. Diodario again smothered.
It's very hard to get a ground ball and a handball out to a receiver at the moment.
Isn't it? So good defensive tactics so far. Will we see some attack able to be freed up and as the players settle in to their work? This one tapped down well by Thomas, but straight into the hands of black. Unable to pick it up cleanly. Signs of nerves again. It's just that first ball use a little bit tentative. Right. Kicks it into space. It's going through the corridor. Norbury quick for black, turns well, takes the bounce. Will she take a second? No, puts it on the boot, goes inside 50. Pushing back on the mark was Macaulay. She's able to intercept it off half back and bring it through. Keeley. Does she hit a target? Just misses. Gerbiel. Apologies if we are pronouncing any surnames incorrectly. By all means, let us know. As a lovely mark there from Rukuwata. Goes short, tries to straighten up the angle. Unable to be marked. Good effort from Gold there. It's a 2-on-1 situation. And that was Teakle doing very well to defuse that. Running onto it hard, gets it off the shin, puts it back inside 50 a little bit more accidentally. Fish using her footwork. Can they find the boot for it here? Black, they're right in front. Can they finish? And they do. Papalia, 14 for black. First score.
It was well done by Mahalia Rukuata, just to stay involved and be the presence and then get the handball out to her teammate in space to finish. Megan Norbury and Zippy Fish out there. The black team's looking very fast at the moment.
Zippy Fish has to be one of the best names going around, and it's going to be something that follows. Yep. All broadcasters are going to love it. Yep. Zippy Fish.
It's up there with Roxy Roo.
Isn't it? It's good.
Yeah, but Zippy playing some league footy at East Fremantle, which is fantastic. It's always interesting to watch how they go when they come back to their own age group. Sometimes you expect them to really dominate. but it's not often the case.
Just over 11 minutes left in this first term. First score, of course, going to black, so it's 1-6 for the black. Early days so far. We saw last game a really tight contest ending without being able to split the two teams. Will one team be able to break through, or will the coaches stand in and make some changes throughout it, Bo, as they tend to do to make it an even contest? Coming off half back. Black again using the space, which is the message.
You can just see Wallerman's pushing out here, number 22. She played it, just taking the mark now. She runs really, really well when she's out of the play.
Got herself into good position and hits up the target nicely, just outside 50. Rowley. She goes into the pocket where there's another free player, and it is Anderson, Beck Anderson.
It's great to see 3 kicks, 3 marks for the ball movement down the ground. Yeah, it's been a bit scrappy early, but some great poise there by the black team. But yeah, like I spoke about before, as they were starting to come out these wings, you could see Olivia Wallermans from the other side just really take off and earn her kick out on the wing and get that link happening.
Anderson, tough angle, doesn't quite have the distance on it. Will it be marked out in front? Not paid for the defender. As on the outside of the boot, tries to work their way out now. Gold through Entwistle. She comes in board, nice clean mark. There's still players running out wide, but she comes back inside and just finds black right in the centre square.
Sippy Fish with a nice little interception there.
2-on-1 as now the goal defenders start to turn up in numbers. And we'll have a ball up. Rukuwata got the slight height advantage, but good tackle to follow up, holding the ball. Doesn't quite execute the kick, so it's a bit of a chaos ball inside 50. Coming out now, Haynes, another player, as you said before, with some league experience. And just in the space of a couple of kicks, they're in space here, Gold. Freeman throws it forward. It bounces nice here for Gold. Cruz just needs it to sit up a little bit for her, and it doesn't. And Black arrived, 2-on-1 situation. She's trying her best to hold it in with some forward 50 pressure. Black making their way out. They have free player down along the boundary line. Pappas. Looks like she's looking again for Wallermans. Goes inside instead of going down the line. Let's see, Gold with a chance to come back inside 50. 1-on-1 contest here. Spoil. This ball just at the top of the goal square, about 40 out. Umpire says, I'll have it. You're unable to clear it through.
So we really encourage them to come inside there, even if we don't turn it over. At this level, there's not enough ball speed on it anyway to sort of trouble you. You can still get back and help her, but we want the girls really trying to hit those targets when they're on, but sometimes you do just have to go down the line if they've got it all covered.
Just tapping it to advantage. Throws it on the boot. Mendoza turns inside. Doesn't get much further than that though. Great tackle there from Gold. Liddington. Haynes now. She's got a little bit of time. Sums up her options. It's a 2-on-1. Goes over the back and now it turns into Gold with the numbers. Can the hand pass find? It doesn't. And Black again get the chance to rebound outside their 50. They go straight back into the corridor. Sits nicely, but two people to beat. She takes them on. Just gets the hand pass away. Haynes smothered with the kick. Ball down on the ground and players pile in on top of it.
Wallerman's playing down back in this game. She showed us what she had up forward, also on the wing and in the ruck in the last game, and now she's holding down centre half back really well.
Must be part of the purpose of these games is to not get pigeonholed into particular positions, but to actually see.
Yeah, certainly. Otherwise, we get to 18s level and we get 30 midfielders. We really need to develop our kids and give them an understanding of playing all different sorts of positions.
And is the purpose of the competition as much for developing this next generation of players as well as staff? Does it come through?
Certainly is. Yep, certainly is. I mean, we have Jenna Alomes. She's my senior assistant coach in the 18s program, so she's overseeing all the coaches in this program. Working on a AFL level 3 coach accreditation, so yeah, it definitely is, and that goes for umpires as well.
Development across all facets of what we need in Aussie rules. Great to see. Back out.
We can see the ball bouncing from half-back to half-back a little bit at the moment. It's almost like a bit of a rugby union game at times. Like it is at the moment when it's stuck in there. Who can just get a handball out like that to the big circle and release?
So a chance here to have some clean possession. A couple of players forward for Black. They've got the numbers here, Bo.
And that's you cut that edit out and show it during the week. That was fantastic.
And hits up a lovely lead. Ran back towards goal and then just started to double back.
Was thinking football there. No one really turned and just blasted away. They looked ahead of the field, read the play, saw where the defenders are, and I think the main thing is where we really need to get better is that kick to advantage and coming inside 50. We see it a lot in the AFLW as well. It's starting to get better and better. The Melbourne Demons, I remember watching them a couple of weeks ago. They were fantastic at it.
Rowley just pulls this across the front of goal. No score. So it rolls across the boundary line. But they're in a good position. It was well worked to get there. As you said, you'd cut that piece of footage out, that vision. Lovely connections.
Yes, in the National Carnival 18s, we play the anti-density rule, so you have to have 2 back inside the 50. It's a really good rule, I think, because it leaves open football.
We're also in this game as well, I think numbers down to, 16. Is it 16 on field to allow us the bench? So a few changes again on the morning of this game. Such is sort of the sporting world at the moment. Has been Black with a lot of the possession up towards their forward 50. Can they put any more scoreboard pressure on? 3.5 left in this first term. NAB AFLW National Development Championships. Game 2 between Black and Gold. Did you shuffle the magnets around much this week to change the team lists as well?
Yeah, there was a little bit of shuffling around, and like we spoke about before, just to see who can play in some different positions.
Yeah.
So yeah, certainly a bit of that going on.
Zersky Brown with the nice mark and kicking it through up the corridor. 2-on-1 floating handball, just waited up too long and allowed the defence to get in some pressure. That flatter hand pass would be what's needed. Black with those flatter hand passes. Lovely chain of handballs just then. They'll come up the wing side. Great mark coming across in front from Hadley. Now she's got some options inboard. Numbers inboard, but she elects to just wait a little bit longer. And again, lovely mark. Well, Marans, she was good last week and has started well again. Rowley, she's had a bit of it up forward.
That's a great kick to advantage.
Good spoil coming across the top from Liddington. Diffuses the situation again for Gold. They've been hanging on in defence. Just under 2 minutes in this first term remains.
Yeah, the Black team currently have 11 inside 50s to the Gold team's 5.
Wow. Haven't quite been able to make that stat turn into points though. Just the 1 goal. Papalia finishing off some good work earlier to be the 1 major goal scorer of the day so far. Gold with an important win. Blizzard using her footwork, trying to figure out which way to go. She's going board to go out, and she finds a nice connection coming off their half-back flank now, and another mark as well. plays on. Right with some pace. Lovely connection through. Jezerski Brown. She puts it up high. Needs the bounce to favour her to Gold. It's a 2-on-2 situation. Just a minute remaining. Can Gold sneak a goal here and even it up as we head into the first break? They're in a good position now, Bo.
Yeah, they are. Under a minute to go, so you really want to try and get a shot on goal.
Who's it going to come from? I can see Greenwood sneaking in. They didn't compete for the ruck just then. Stayed down. It falls out to Black and they defuse it again really nicely. 25 seconds left on the clock. Bounces. There's plenty of space here to come down. Takes the bounce. It doesn't quite sit up for her. And then rushed on the kick and it comes off the outside of the boot. Patterson cleans it up. Doesn't get the handball on it. Incorrect disposal. First siren sounds. End of an entertaining first quarter. Defence probably fairly big, Bo. 1 goal to Black. They lead by the 6. Quarter time here at Provident Financial Oval. We'll take a quick break here on the NAB AFLW National Development Championships. And when we come back on the other side, we'll get the thoughts and expert comments of Bo McDonald here on how this game is progressing after the first quarter. It is Black leading by 6. Welcome back here to the NAB AFLW National Development Championships. We are at the first quarter time break. Jen Wallace and Bo McDonald with you. Thanks to Front Row Screens producing and broadcasting this women's footy. Thanks for their support as always in women's footy. Bo, what's the story of the stats in the first quarter?
Well, I suppose the Black team was the dominant team of the quarter, leading the possessions 83 to 54. They also led the inside 50s 11 to 6, but obviously with 1 goal they weren't able to capitalise. So that'll probably be the message from the coaches when we're going inside 50. How can we get a higher percentage rate at our shots when we get them in there? So I'll be looking to, you know, the girls are getting a lot of contests in the pocket. I'll be looking to take the defenders into the corridor, really put them under the pump, and if the ball does hit the deck, we got a second chance at it. Some players that have impressed me in that quarter. Mio Russo down back, number 12 for the Black side. Very quick, scooping up the ground balls and really helped the Black side with a bit of impetus off the half back line. I thought she was really good. Olivia Waller-Morans as well. She was fantastic. She had 8 disposals and 3 marks there at half back and gave them a bit of impetus as well. I think the Black team, they moved the ball better. There was a couple of passages of play there where they were able to get out the other side. I reckon the message from the coach for the Black team will be, let's keep doing what we're doing, but let's challenge ourselves to do it a little bit faster. Let's try and pick up that person out there quicker and pull the trigger. So yeah, I think it's a much better quarter than the first one the other week. Just for the pure fact that girls have played together a bit more. Mm-hmm. They've seen some footage this week about what we want to try and do, and I think we clearly saw that in the first quarter. Hit-outs are pretty even in the middle, and the centre clearances. Obviously in today's game, centre clearances are crucial, but it's not really having an impact on the match at the moment. Blizzard, Haynes and Chambers for the goal team are leading the disposals with six. All of them have 6. Mm-hmm. Blizzard's had 5 kicks out of her 6 touches, and she's probably been the dominant player for the gold side.
So after the first quarter, just the 1 goal kicker, Papalia. For the Black side, Alana, East Fremantle product. She was able to capitalise on some good work, but as you mentioned, the stats tell the story that Black have had most of the possession, just unable to put the scoreboard pressure really on Gold at the moment. For Gold, you mentioned what you'd be asking Black to do, but for Gold, how do you see them needing to get maybe a bit more first use of the ball?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jen. Getting first use of the ball is key for them, and being able to get it to someone in space to be able to use it. They've just seemed very rushed the whole time, rushed quick kicks, whereas the Black team have actually been able to get someone out in some time and space and have a bit of think about what they're going to do with the ball. For the Gold team, I suppose, it's really about the balance. Sometimes we talk to the girls about the little circle and the big circle around the contest. They just seem to either all get caught in that little circle. And if you can get that balance right and trust your teammate's going to win the ball and get it on the outside, that's what you want to try and do. But some players to look for in the Gold team in this second quarter. Tony Teakle from East Fremantle. It's a famous East Fremantle name. She had a good game last week. Naraya Cruz, she's from the Warriors. I think that's in Northern maybe, or Narrabeen. I'm not quite sure, but you were talking about the country girls before. So Nora's down here having a run, which is really good. We've got Natasha Entwistle's been quite good in that first quarter, showing a little bit. This is it's going to be a interesting second quarter to see if the Gold team can get their hands on the ball. Coaching the Black team, we have Jason Bloom, who's at East Perth Football Club. He's been in our program for a couple of years now, and terrific fellow, really, really good with the girls. He's on his coaching pathway as well, doing his level 3 AFL course, which is fantastic. And then over on the Gold side, we got Zippy Fisher's dad, Troy. He's involved down at East Fremantle Youthies.
Mm-hmm. It's a great opportunity as well, isn't it, to develop, we spoke about it really quickly, but to develop not only the players, next generation of players, but your next generation of coaches, whether it's to continue up through the representative pathway or to spread out into our state leagues, which we know are the bread and butter of how good our highest performance can be.
Yeah, like a lot of people will be watching this and saying, well, look, we've got 2 male coaches out there with our under 16 girls, but it was so hard to find some good quality female coaches, because the good ones are in the Waffle W. They're taken up by the Waffle W club, so it's a real focus for us, especially at the Footy Commission over the next period of time, is to really upskill our female coaches in WA, whether that's through primary schools, whether that's phys ed teachers. We're certainly talking about how we go about that, but it's got to be a really big focus, the coaching and umpiring part coming through, because otherwise we want to develop our girls as well as we can. We want as many good female coaches as we can as well.
I think the flip side of the fact that the participation rate has really boomed in AFL women's across Australia is the fact that then you'll come out of that some players who have phenomenal understanding of the game, great passion for it, great knowledge, and instead of taking the pathway up to AFLW, their pathway will be coaching.
Certainly, football's an industry, and look, we all want to play at the top level, but sometimes that can't happen. So there is there's other jobs in football, and we're starting to see that. We see some of our girls from the state academy come back and work for us the next year because they like it so much. So it's it's certainly progressing and growing. And if you want to be in a football coach in WA as a female, now's a really good time.
Moments away from the start of the second quarter here in this WA Gold versus WA Black. It's the female 16s development championships brought to you by NAB. Supported as well by Front Row Screens, bringing you all the coverage of today's fixture and last week's fixture.
Not sure what we're waiting on here. Oh.
Haynes it is. It just needed that section a bit longer, or didn't read the board.
Didn't read the board, I reckon.
There's a lot going on, I'm not going to lie, when you look at the magnets on the board and try to listen to the messages. It's a whole different skill level, having to take it all in and remember, am I on or am I off? All right. Haynes is in position. Reminder, we've got 16 apiece on the field today, so that we've got a bench as well. Just some changes from this morning to do with different football and league commitments. And Fish immediately having an impact, brings it out of that centre clearance. Gets it straight inside 50, it tumbles forward. Good defence from Gold. Rowley, she was an option, the ball just landed short of her. Gold work it away, but only as far as, if we got there, that looks like Diodario. Swan District product. Do you reckon she's on distance here? But she'll be kicking from about 35, 38 out.
Oof, I'm going to say it's just going to hit the line, I reckon.
Okay. Good boot on it. Right on the line, isn't it? It's touched over.
Just a dangerous kick from the defender, the lob back into the corridor. If you're not sure what's going on and you're in the back 50 and you're under pressure, even putting it out on the full is a better option than just banging it back high into the corridor and giving the opposition a shot on goal.
Bring it away now. Big fan of that change to the rule to allow. Yeah, you might. Just immediately opens the game up a little bit better, doesn't it?
Yep.
What have you been thinking about the stand on the mark rule being brought back in now to the women's footy after it was a bit late last year to bring it in?
Yeah, it was a bit late. Look, we've been practicing a little bit at training, but it's certainly something you can take advantage of. That's for sure. Especially with the, you can get that extra run from behind.
Great tackle coming from behind there. Hadley didn't give up on the chase and rewarded. She pops it inside 50 once again. It tumbles over the back. Foot race on. Coucher did take possession of it, but was dispossessed. They call play on. Thrown on the boot's going to be out in the full. Half forward pocket. There's an option to come across goal. Ignores it. Now across the face of goal. Strong hands to bring that to ground, but another dangerous kick in front of goal. Mendoza weaving in her way, trying to find her way through to get it onto the boot. Wasn't able to. Didn't have that option to get it on quickly. But it comes back through again. And it's a behind here for Woolmarans.
See the goal team then again, I think it was Haynes. Just another blind high kick into the corridor. It's just an education piece around. It's an absolute no-no. If you're under pressure like that, it's an absolute no-no. You do not lob the ball in your defensive 50 back into the corridor.
It's got to be fast and sharp if you're coming across.
Yep.
And once again, Fish bringing it back right into the goal square. Dangerous kick. It's tumbling around on the right boot.
Athena Mendoza.
And just the behind, not able to bring it around enough. Mendoza just had a couple of dangerous touches in the last couple of minutes. (139) the score now for Black.
It's a very clever way to get a bit of rest.
Oh, very good.
Put it over the second fence.
Shout out for a couple of extra match balls maybe at either end.
Would be a good idea.
Yeah. Kick straight back into the advantage of Black. And they look like they'll pay the full cost, will they, here? And they do. Zoe Keeley, the benefactor of some pretty sloppy work coming out of defence just then, unfortunately. Just not quite executing for gold, and it presented a great opportunity for Black, who go ahead now 2-3-15.
So the goal just having a bit of trouble getting it out of the defensive 50. That there was just a bit of a skill error.
Yeah.
You can see where she's trying to, the player that she was trying to hit. I think what they need to start doing is going to one side in numbers. They're sort of all spreading out in singular. They need to go as a pack to one side and then cover off the corridor so the other team can't come back at them.
You saw that the option was behind those two players, forward attackers for Black, because she didn't quite execute the kick. It fell right at their feet instead of going over the top of them and clearing that zone. The clearance comes back forward again, heading into dangerous territory for goal. They're defending their 50. Working it away now. Chips it up. Strong contest. All players bringing it down nicely. Patterson for Black. Weaves her way out, gets it on the boot. Teakle. She's well held, but manages to get it away with a little handball. But Fish, quick, takes the bounce. She's got time for another if she wants it. Puts it on the boot. Big tall target there in Keeley. Just ran underneath it.
Love to see Zippy Fish just another couple of bounces there, break the line and have a go at goal. Can sort of see her doing that in a couple of years.
Especially with the momentum of the pace behind her kick, you could see it actually travelled further. You know, that drop, the ball drop, the players didn't quite read the cues of it because of that additional momentum with her run. Gold in numbers. Again, just having to diffuse the pressure of Black always being in the attacking zone, and this one is thrown on the boot beautifully. Out of the pack, out of nowhere really, Patterson found herself able to swivel around, put it on the right, and kick truly.
Lily Patterson from the Caversham Junior Football Club. Went to primary school at Caversham, Jen.
You did?
Back in the day,
Yeah.
In Swan Valley.
That's good goal sense from Patterson, knowing where she was within that contest and when she had the ball swung around. 3-3-21 lead for Black. Gold still looking for that first chance to get on the scoreboard.
So the Black team's really dominating the disposal count now, 107 to 68. So we spoke about it at quarter time. The Gold just need to get their hands on the ball. Here we go.
They listen to you, Bo. Can they find a chain of connection here? Freeman it was looking back for a runner. Greenwood gets it on the boot and does well, finds Crane. Crane on the left, she's got the nice little option. Well done here. Right, unable to find that next possession. And instead, Black able to work their way out thanks to the free kick. They go to the open space on the far wing side. Just didn't sit up into the hands and clean for Gold. Then Twistle, she ran onto that well, read it well, just didn't get it below her knees. Needed be a little bit more clean. Britton now is on the far side. Steps back inside nicely from the player on the mark. Heads to a contest, and now we're seeing that pinball sort of footy at the moment, just between the arcs. Good smother. Nice hand pass. This is where all players just start to get sucked into the contest. They need an option just outside of it. Lovely mark coming into the centre square. Keeley keeps going forward through that corridor. There's a player just waiting for that handball. Just wasn't able to make it. That's clever, trying to tap it on. And just slow it down a little bit.
Gerbiel there again showing her ability to get in and under and win a hard ball.
Touched off the boot. Call play on. Now there's numbers here for Gold. It's just to the left pocket. Beats the run of Grace Freeman.
Number 27 for the Gold, Olivia Crane. Just a couple of forward entries there. She shows a lot of smarts and knows where to look and going for the right options. There's a fantastic clearing handball there. Everyone can handball 5 metres away, but it hit a target 15, 20 away. It's really good to see.
Crane in the ruck again, brings it down, puts it on the left, doesn't quite get the distance. It's tumbling through, and probably a good result instead of going for a behind for Gold. Keeps it in this dangerous area.
Yeah, the way we structure up here, it's all one-on-one football over the ground. So, you know, the Gold team's not pulling 2 out behind the play to really keep the ball in their forward half. At this level, it's about the girls being able to show their talents and not so much about the structure.
That idea of being allowed to play.
Yep.
Play footy first, learn structures later. It's a high ball. The players settle in underneath it. Excellent hands. That's Wally, I think, number 24, getting busy for Black. And Crane, here she is again, standing up tall. Just trying to carry this gold and get them some momentum.
It's funny, yeah, we heard an enthusiastic dad there yelling out to his daughter to get in. That's exactly what we didn't want her to do. She needed to stay out there, be out in the outer circles. There was already 5 girls already in there. And the goal just starting to get that balance around the ball a little bit better.
It's a nice piece of it. Has it travelled? Don't think it's been touched on the line. So Crane, reward for some really good work in the last 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, she moves. Her agility for a tall girl is fantastic. You're looking at her type. You could almost come up onto the wing. She looks like she can run, she can move, she can take a catch. But her agility was really impressive there.
Yeah, gave herself the angle, improved her angle, like the sort of almost the Buddy Franklin hook around. Not a bad lesson to.
No, I was hoping for the 1,000th goal yesterday, but it didn't transpire.
It sets up a script though, doesn't it,
does.
for SCG.
He's one of the best to watch when he's up and going, the big buddy.
You'd start to think, when will we next see someone in that sort of territory?
Yes.
Will we next see someone in that sort of territory? Madison Hadley clearing that nicely, heading forward here for Black. Keeley just again. No, sorry, that would have been Rukuwata. Apologies.
The goal team didn't score there, but just the importance of getting a centre clearance out the front door. It can be really costly. 9 times out of 10, it ends up going deep.
Fierce tackle pressure. Something that, when you look at the blueprint of Freo Dockers women, it's not a bad thing to make sure you've locked into your game at an early age if you're wanting to be talent ID'd. Just tapping the ball forward for herself. You heard the cry of help her from the bench. Did everything she could then, Slocum, to try and get the ball up in her hand and get some space. As I said, you heard the cry of help her. Haynes out the side there for Gold, and unfortunately over the boundary line. Ran out of room. Three at 21 to 1 straight 6. It is Black with a lead of 15. There's Slocum again. She's grabbed by the back of the jumper, gets it off to Haynes. High ball towards the 50-metre arc. This is where we see plenty of numbers all getting over the ball. Clever play to stay out there, Black, but it's going to come in. Oh, here's a run on.
Megan Norbury won't catch her.
Take the bounce.
Great chase.
Great chase. Pressure was put on. Good clean pick up there as well off the bounce. Lara Thomas, picked up the half volley nicely.
Gold team starting to get a little bit better around the contest.
Seem to be giving each other a bit of space to allow the options to come out. Mendoza again. Quick footwork. Gold had the numbers in the corridor. Slocum. She busts through that tackle, takes the bounce. Is she quick enough to get another bounce? She beats another tackle. The tackle's on you right now and just went one too many. Excellent follow-up. Who was that for Black? Norbury.
Number 3, Norbury. Showed a bit of pace.
Didn't give up, did she, once she was shrugged off the first time? Stayed hot on it. And here we see Gold again with opportunity. 2-on-1, 3-on-1 if they've got the numbers and the pace. It's out towards the pocket and tried to sock it off the ground and really sent off her feet. Riley Fisher went in hard into that contest for Black.
It was actually a smart little push at the right time just to get her off the contest. I don't think it was a free kick, but she just didn't land really well.
No. In the hands of the trainers down there. Let's see if play is halted as she's quite close to the play, but they let it play on at the moment. And she's been brought off the field. Ukuata, 10-metre handball, trying to clear the area. Comes back to her. She's looking to free the arms again, unable to do so. Tight contest there.
She's had some presence today. Ukuata.
Swan District's product.
She's a strong girl. I think she could be a good player with higher fitness level.
I guess that's the other big part of a program like this, is it? Is it trying to bring in earlier the right ways to train and get that fitness and strength?
It's a bit like work experience. You're showing the kids what's required to go to the next level, and you know, if you don't like running, it's 100% part of footy. So it's, you know, like they're getting to that age where you start to point out to them what's the next level gonna look like. And that was great play there by Gold to come back into the corridor, open up the shot on goal.
Right with the ball in hand.
I like to see that the leaders coming at the foot in the corridor, not taking the easy space out to the boundary line where the defenders want you to go. Put them under pressure and take them up the middle.
Nice strong kick, but just fades across to the left. Had the distance easy though. 1-1-7 now to Gold. Right with that behind. 14 lead now for Black. Gold been much better throughout this second quarter. Worked their way into the game nicely. Another nice kick into the top of the square. Great mark.
Warren's
again.
She's everywhere.
Had a couple of grabs at it, unable to bring it down. And Black goes straight up the corridor. Over the top of Hadley, she turns and goes. Could have got the handball from Gamble, but she turns and takes it on herself with the bounce. There's a tackler right on her heels. She gets rid of it just in time as the halftime siren sounds here at Provident Financial Oval. It is 3-3-21, a lead of 14 over 1-1-7. It is Black with that lead here. This is part of the NAB AFLW National Development Championships. WA Gold versus WA Black. Jen Wallace and Bo McDonald bringing you the call here. Thanks to Front Row Screens for producing and broadcasting this. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, all of our thoughts from Bo McDonald on this first half of footy. Welcome back here to Provident Financial Oval. It is the NAB AFLW National Development Championships. Jen Wallace joined by Bo McDonald, our state coach here. Bo, under 16s we're looking at here. It's game 2 of this clash between Black and Gold. Gold trailing there 1-1-7, Black 3-3-21. The goal kickers so far today has been Papalia, Keeley and Patterson for Black, and the single goal for Crane for the Gold. What have you noticed throughout that second quarter? Gold seeming to find their way back into this game.
They were under the pump, the Gold side, at the start of that quarter. That it was going inside their defensive 50, and we saw them, you know, muck up the exits a couple of times and offer up a couple of shots to the Black team. They were really getting killed around the contest. Their contested ball method probably wasn't there. Too many inside, not enough outside. Just that that structure around there wasn't happening. But then it all changed from they were able to win some ground ball inside close, and then the ability to get it out to the outside and move away with it and use the ball and get some inside 50s themselves. I think Olivia Crane was really important there for that little 5 or 6 minute spell, keeping it in there and showing us a little bit of magic down there, and obviously getting a goal herself. So, excuse me, so much better. It was really good to see the gold team under the pump, and the girls were able to turn it around through thinking, not just breaking through the walls, so to speak. They've actually thought their way through it, which is fantastic.
You mentioned Crane, Olivia Crane, Subiaco product. She had a really big sort of 3 or 4 minute spell where she just seemed to really provide some momentum for the gold side. Got the reward of the single goal so far for gold. Who else has jumped up in disposals? Who's hot at the moment, getting lots of ball?
Georgia Haynes has 12 disposals, along with Chambers for the gold team. She has 12 as well. Zippy Fish, she's got 13 disposals, which we obviously thought would have been the case by half time for the black team. But Walmarans she's having a fantastic game. She's also had 12 disposals down back, also a Subiaco product. So with Olivia Crane there and Olivia Walmarans there, they've got a couple of good young talented players there at Subiaco. 139 disposals to the black team to 107 to the gold. There was a bit bigger gap in that at the start of the quarter, like I said, the gold team was probably able to bring that back a little bit, and that's what sees them kind of back in the game, I suppose. Clearances are 10 to 9, so there's not too much difference there, and the inside 50s is +7 to the black side. So, yeah, look, I thought it was a really interesting first half, Jen. There was we saw a couple of types of footy. We've seen the girls trying to, do what we've asked of them during the week, which is probably the main thing. And they're playing some thinking football now. It's not just get the ball, boot it, next contest, get the ball, boot it, next contest. They're actually thinking, when I'm behind the ball, I'm out of play. Where can I go and stand? What am I supposed to be doing? That's all new for this age group. So you don't expect to get it right this all the time. I'd be very surprised if they come out and went bang, 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 bang. They're almost call them apprentice footballers at under 16s. You're just learning the ropes, and you're gonna have to make mistakes to get better. But it's just being able to have an understanding and educate them around, okay, what are we trying to do, and how are we going to go about it.
When we spoke throughout the quarter, so it was almost like the second half of that second quarter, Gold started to really get their hands on the ball first. You did mention at one point it was 107 to 68, the disposals in favour of black. So it was a big shift in that second half of that second term.
Yep.
The Waffle W action is on across today as well. If we look across some of the scores there, Claremont 8-9-57 defeated South Freo 2-4-16, probably a predicted result. Claremont seem to be flying this season so far, Bo. And East Freo, the Sharks, 12-16-88 over the West Perth Falcons, just the one straight goal 6. So a convincing victory to the Sharks as well. Other game in play at the moment in second quarter, Swans 3-6-24 over the Thunder 1-8. That should be a good game, that one.
Should be a good game. Look, East Fremantle and Claremont, looking really good at the moment. Peel, obviously the reigning premiers and probably one of their better players out at the moment in Ella Roberts. So she's there to come back, or who knows, with the draft in August.
Will she come back in state league footy?
I'm not sure. What would you do, Jen, if you were going to draft her as number one? Would you want her to be playing state footy, or would you want to start prepping her up now and getting her ready for August?
This is a really big discussion point for me. I'm not even sure we have the right amount of time, but I'm a big believer that to play the sport, you really need to play the sport. Training has its fantastic purposes, but a lot of where our players get better, and I think Hayley Miller's probably someone who I've heard spoken about as that prime example of someone who would always finish AFLW commitments, whatever the time off that she was supposed to have, she would have, and then she'd come back in to her state league side, and that development seems to mean that now I think she's maybe 25, 26 years old, seemingly having a year where everything's come together, that great connection of fitness improvement, training time on the track in a high performance environment, and playing experience all seems to come together. And I don't know if that's the best case scenario. How do we keep copying that? Yeah,
look, I agree. I think playing footy for the girls, as much footy as you can, that's where you learn out on the field and in amongst it. but you really just obviously then have to weigh up, you know, the injuries, coming back from injury, and being prepped, and really having an eye on the big prize. I suppose it's very difficult with kids because they want to play with their mates. They, you know, that it's their home, it's where they come from, and yeah, it might make it a little bit difficult. So interesting times ahead anyway, Jen. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens and see how it all affects not only just the players but the umpiring and the coaching and staffing and everything. You know, there's obviously people working waffle and AFLW as well at clubs. So yeah, a lot to nut out.
I think from a pure player's perspective, though, exciting times.
Yep.
So exciting.
Exactly. If I was a player, I'd be like you, Beauty. I think the time slot's really good.
Yeah. Well, you've got the expansion teams as well. So if you've got dreams of playing at this top level, what you'd give to be 15, 16 years old right now.
Yep. It's a great time.
It is a very exciting time for the players indeed. So, speaking of that AFLW, Freo with a good win yesterday.
Yeah, and just in the AFL, the Dockers are up by a point.
Oi.
11 minutes 27 gone in the third.
Close one.
So we'll be watching that one on when we get home.
And then West Coast Eagles to finish off the weekend of AFL action.
Who do you think's going to win that one, Jen? The Eagles and the Suns?
I've gone the Suns on my tipping. I have.
Yeah, I reckon the Suns will be a chance. Round one over here.
If West Coast can get up, what a backbone building win that will be with everything that's happened across their pre-season. It'll be an interesting one to watch, the West Coast and Gold Coast Suns game to finish out AFL men's. But yeah, great to see our Freo girls head over to Melbourne, continue their winning streak in Melbourne and take down North Melbourne. And it was you look at it and it's easy to get tempted by the fact that they've played and you forget how good Adelaide are. Mm-hmm. But if they can play that way, they're in with a great shot.
Certainly. I think the thing I've noticed about the Dockers women in their last two games, as soon as the time pressure comes on and they play with a bit of urgency, they're very hard to beat.
Okay.
It's pretty... You can't play with that sort of urgency for whole 4 quarters. You'll run out of petrol tickets.
Yeah.
But I reckon when they play with some urgency, they're a good team to watch, and really looking forward to them seeing take on the Crows. Obviously, their strength's turning that ball over in the forward half. I suppose then when you start looking at Brisbane, Melbourne, they're teams that are starting to use the ball really well. So if you can bring the pressure and they want to use the ball, that can, and you're winning that part of the game, that's going to go well for Fremantle. And look, they deserve it, the girls, don't they? They had that year where they finished on top of the ladder and didn't come out with a premiership. And I just think of girls like Cara Antonio. They've been around there since day dot. You know, if anyone deserves having a crack at a grand final, it's certainly her. And you know, footy can be cruel sometimes. We know that. But yeah, good luck to the to the Fremantle girls, and let's hope they can get up in their next final and play in the grand final.
Absolutely. From a purely biased WA position that we're sitting in right now, we're all on Freo Dockers train, without a doubt, in the AFL women's. Focusing back on this area in this female under-16s in the development program, how long has this sort of program been running, and are there graduates of this program that have already making their names at higher levels?
Oh, most definitely. So this is sort of the step before they come into the under-18s state academy program. And, you know, some players that we've seen come through there over the last few years. Mentioned her before, Roxy Rue, Michaela Morrison, Mim Strom. I could
Charlie Thomas, I imagine, for
Charlie
West
Thomas,
Coast.
Dana East, Michaela Hyde. I've lost my train of thought here. There's so many. But yeah, it is. This is where it all starts from, I suppose. And what we're seeing now is the girls are starting to get better coaching at their Waffle W clubs, and we notice that when they then come to the state program, just their knowledge of the game as well. They're learning lots more. You can bring up certain themes, and they've already heard it before in Waffle W land, which
it's not new language. It's not new info.
Which is really good. So yeah, it's a starting point. But like I said, there'll be some girls in this group who might come away from football and say that's not what I want to do, because they've just learned how hard you've got to run and watch out, and that's fine. It's like I said, it's a bit like work experience, and it's sort of up to us to show them what the next level is going to be and what the standard required of them is. But the girls just lap it up. They love training. They love learning the game. And it really is. It's a different game. I often talk to a lot of coaches, and I talk about it being their game. Well, we need to learn it and learn. It's their game, and going forward, it's a lot different to what we looked at football when we were younger, playing kids, and the way we learned. I was talking to my dad about it the other day. It was like, who taught you how to kick? And I'm like, no one.
Yeah.
Like, you just taught
do it.
yourself. You went out there and you bad kick, wide to kick bad, whatever. So I think the girls are starting to do a bit of that now as well, and self-coach themselves, which is really good.
I think that's that huge payoff on the if you see it, you can be it mentality. So not only do young athletes get the chance to mimic male athletes, they're now getting the chance to mimic female athletes and try kicking like their favourite player, try tackling like a turbo, and mimic that in the way that they play in their backyard and play at their community footy, and in that find themselves as to who they are as a footballer. But you often see that now you're seeing people and you're going, oh, they remind me of such and such. I can see that mannerism in them.
And look, as a father of a 13-year-old girl, I think that's so important. You need to be able to see your heroes and your whatever it is you want to do in life. You need to be able to have a role model and be able to see it. And to have female role models for our young girls now is fantastic.
Does your daughter have a favourite player currently?
She's not a footballer, mate.
Oh, no? What is she? Sporter, though?
She lives in Queensland. She's a bit of a netballer. Mum played netball for Australia.
Great game.
So there's a bit of netball blood in the family. So she's a little social butterfly, my Ashley. She's not really into sport too much just yet.
Okay. Oh, netball, that's a great sport as well. I played that when I was younger growing up, as you tend to play a lot of sports growing up, but I loved netty. It destroyed my knees, but I loved it.
Yeah, it's not real good for the knees, netball, is it?
Not at all. So Black have been out doing their warm-ups for a little while. Gold's just come back onto the field to get their warm-ups underway.
You were talking about the country regions before, Jen. Strength and conditioning, Sam Lee out there. He's a gentleman I met in Karratha when I was living up there a fair few years ago, and he's at the Karratha Falcons Football Club. He wants to take his strength and conditioning to the next level, so he's just been down during the summer academy this year on a voluntary basis, just learning from our S&Cs and he's taken the reins today. So you spoke about it before. Not only are we looking to give opportunities to players, but also support staff and coaches.
Oh, that's great to hear, isn't it? Often you do see, I know you'd always love to be able to enumerate everyone. At some point there's...
We could zoom in on his haircut, it'd be all right.
It does look like an absolute cracker. He's got
bit going on there.
Got the ink as well on the legs and arms. There is a bit going on in that haircut. So they get their preparations physically underway here in this last end of the halftime break. Just repeating the score, 3-3-21 for Black, 1-1-7 for Gold. Just single goal kickers so far today. We've had Papalia, Mendoza and Keeley. No, sorry, it was Keeley and Patterson, I should say, for Black with the goals, and Crane, the single goal scorer for Gold. Wait and see what magnets have been shuffled in the long break between the coaches. See how well manufactured we can be for a score comeback. Obviously, last game ending on a thriller.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting how, I wasn't even watching the scoreboard, and I had a look at the end and went, oh, geez, it was a draw.
I looked back at the footage to get prepared, and I was like, oh, it's well done. So we'll wait and see who gets the bragging rights today, Black or Gold, or will there be a fantastic level score again? If it is, be a nice comeback from Gold.
So what do you want to see, Jen, in this second half? What are we looking for?
Well, I think I would like to see a bit of all-out attack, a little bit of play in that space. In that it's not a, you're not playing for a flag. You're not, especially say Black, for example. You're in front. Let's not go into, let's hold on to our lead. Let's go for as big a lead as we can possibly get. Let's see what highlights reel we can come up with and see what you can highlight for your fellow teammates. So the way you handball, the way you kick into space, and just keep putting each other in a chance to just keep playing on. That's what I'd like to see. You're the state coach, though. What about you?
I'd love to see some runs. So players like Zippy Fish and Megan Norbury with their pace, I'd be saying, I don't care if you get caught holding the ball. And if you do get caught, give it and try and get it back and take off and really use your run. I suppose we've seen that in little bits, but spot on, Jen. I really want to see the game turn into a lot of flair and a bit of attack. Maybe a couple of hangers would be nice. We saw the photo girls they're not playing today. South Fremantle girls. I think it was Alira last week. Took some really good contested marks up forward.
Yeah. I think she kicked 3 in the last game, and she just marked so well. As we're underway here in the third term at Provident Financial Oval, the home of the West Perth Falcons. You are just tuning in. It is Black leading 3-3-21 over Gold 1-1-7. It is female 16s development championships brought to you by NAB. And Bo McDonald sitting alongside Jen Wallace, the state coach, calling for some free play and some hangers, some highlights reel to come out of these last two terms. Play on the far wing from us. Very much even territory. Gold now managing to work it away. Taking a bounce. Claudia Wright takes a couple. Gets a good leg on it. Just manages just outside of the target. Got a hopeful start.
Running a couple of bounces there is good to see.
Tick. That's what he asked for. You're happy with their spacing out. Now you've got Haynes keeping her distance.
Yeah, she's the opposite side winger there, so I'll be trying to sneak in, trying to get a shot on goal.
Now she starts to head back into the corridor as the ball's worked out of defensive 50.
Even there, you can tell she's been educated. And when it's time to come across like it is then she comes across, but you don't want to get caught too far out on your wrong side.
Yep. So we're in the centre of the ground. Black and Gold going at it. Fierce contest. All players on their development journey in their footy. Wright has had a couple of early touches. Stabs it low. That's Marins again underneath. Using those, managing to get down from such a tall height. Gets down onto the ground quite nicely. Clever tap forward and some pace out of the contest here. The bounce doesn't sit up for her. What a shame. Maya Russo, if that had just sat up, she was bursting.
She's been good, Maya Russo, in West Perth.
Foot race on, but the ball's going to beat both sides out to the boundary. Rowley was in best position, but not able to get to it quick enough.
Pure Thunder product, no relation to Courtney Rowley at the West Coast Eagles.
Blizzard goes short. Lovely kick to Tiani Tickle. And she goes across into the corridor. Wright runs onto it. He puts a nice long kick on into the inside 50, and it bounces well for Gold. It's 2-on-1 here. Surely we've got a finish. And unfortunate finish. Could have kept running. Just off the outside of the boot.
So Chloe Wright is now
Laura
an equal
Thomas.
leading disposals at 14. She's had a really big 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, the finish wasn't there, but the lead up was excellent for Gold. That's what they've got to keep remembering. Go to it again. Some fierce tackle pressure happening down in front of us right now, Bo. Haynes stays out and gets the ball. Handball's back into a bit of traffic. Slocum. Blizzard off the right, hooks it around. Almost a great intercept mark there from Norbury. And they've worked their way out here, Black, nicely. They've got numbers. Hadley, she's got Pappas out in front of her, and she goes to her. Well, Marins is calling for it as well. Uses her height from behind, but great mark in front. Good positioning from Crane. Stabs off the left. Just takes a off break. Jezerski Brown trying to find some space again still. Here she is again. This time Slocum on the right. They come up through the corridor. Black, they've gotten themselves out of that situation again.
Instead of Zippy just kicking that with that grass in front of her, that's where you want to see her take off, have a bounce, start to run around some players instead of just pulling the trigger straight away.
It's got to see to play to your strengths right now in these last two quarters, and if one of them is your run, then take that chance to run. Freeman bringing it back inboard, and a lovely mark. Lara Thomas. She plays on quickly. And Black looking to rebound, unable to. That doesn't execute the kick, so it stays inside 50 here, and Gold a chance to apply some pressure, trying to keep it inside the 50. They do so. Comes clear through hands. Wanting to get some space on her right, couldn't find it. Looking to spin around here. Free player. Comes through and drills it. Excellent finish.
Is it Crane?
Thought it was Slocum for me. I think it was the number 30. Let's have a look here on the replay. Yeah, 30 it is. Ella Slocum from Claremont.
Well, they've turned this game around, the Gold team. We might end up with another epic finish, Jen.
He's hoping. Slocum with the goal. She joins Crane as the goal kickers so far for Gold. 3-3-21. Black lead 2-2-14. Gold. The margin cut back to 7.
It's an interesting matchup. Mahalia and Imogen Stanners, who's 158 centimetres. Now they're just swapping up.
Tiny versus Tawley. Good hands here from Black Rowley. Sends it inside 50. First to the ball, Gold in that instance. Lovely hand pass. Just couldn't correct the angle. Diodero there. But Black, they've been held scoreless now since sort of midway of the second term. Oh, lovely mark. Strong hands, up high. Excellent defence, Haynes. There's your match awareness.
Definitely.
Good one-on-one contest, and the umpire will call for it. Just over 10 minutes remain in this third term. You're watching the NAB AFLW National Development Championships. Jen Wallace and the voice of Bo McDonald. He's speaking all sorts of sense beside me.
Trying to. Gemma Hill from Swan Districts there, number 28.
Good pace. Russo goes across the goal square and it'll head out of bounds on the other side.
Mia Russo's really impressive down back in the first half, and the coaches have put her forward now just to see what she can do with her speed inside the forward 50. Can she keep it in there? Can she use her speed to tackle, get a ground ball and a shot on goal? It's a good ability to be able to do it at both ends.
And she's very quick off those first sort of 3 to 5 steps, wasn't she? Explosive power, good to see.
There she is again, getting it out, trying to.
So now it's Gold hanging on desperately. Black with the chance to act on the scoreboard again. Gold working it away now through hands. Still the defensive pressure exists. They take it out the far wing side, going up that boundary line. Good pace, turn of pace here. Takes the bounce, it doesn't sit up. Has to kick it forward to herself. Continues to play on though. Doesn't give it up. The hot tackle. As Pappas showing some good pace. Just didn't quite get the bounce to come back to her. Uncontested in the ruck. Gold. Get it out the front door and it's moving down the boundary line. Turns inside. Rukuwata elects to go by hand. Will they come back across the corridor here? Again, just another hand bounce that just doesn't sit back up again. Oh, crunch from behind. Brave standing underneath that. And well settled intercept mark off halfback. Little bit reboundy, back and forth at the moment. No clear winners. Black got it for the time being, but they turn it back over as Haynes marks it and continues to stream forward. 2-on-1. Stay down in front, Gold. They just needed another runner coming following that kick, Bo.
Yeah, they did. They just needed to link up.
Both sides trying their best to clear the area. And there's Black with a tiny bit of space. Lovely tackle from Macaulay.
First give.
Now there's some space coming down the near boundary line. Loses her feet.
If that was a bit unlucky or a sneaky little
Little bump.
little trip, yeah.
Yeah, Chambers it was that won that battle for Gold. Slocum, dangerous, gets it on the right and a great finish again. Our first double goal scorer of the game, and she's gone the last two. It is now 3-20. Slocum.
Oh, Slocum, 163 centimetres from the Claremont Tigers.
Look at the strength through this. She's got attention, being dragged backwards. Great finish. And we're now just 1 point in it. 3-3-21 plays 3-2-20.
Yeah, there probably hasn't been as many shots on goal today as we would have liked. But like I said, these girls are under 16. They're learning the game. I think that next... We even see it at AFLW level, that ability to be patient and find a target inside 50 is really improving.
Just reworking the numbers before we get back underway.
I think it's part of the day too where fatigue starts to come, so the game will probably open up a little bit more. We might start to see some more run on the outside.
But
another thing that happens though is it can turn into a contested quagmire too when everyone's fatigued, so let's see what happens.
just over 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Good smother. Great pick up and handball. Turns back inside. Diadera.
Well done.
Diadrio. Who's that in the headgear? 27, Riley Fisher. With strength.
Good.
Finds Wally. Can she finish it? Just stays skinny. First score involvement for Black in a little while. 3-4-22. They lead by 2.
Ali Lampkin, the talent manager, just walking past, a bit excited.
Pacing up and back. Well, we asked for Gold to cut that deficit as quick as possible, and they've done us proud.
The inside 45's on here. Just need to pull the trigger quicker. It's still on in the middle of the ground, if she can see it. Just a little switch.
Stay down the line. Bouncing ball.
With the young players, when the pressure's on, that vision to stay down the line, we really need to keep teaching them to look inside or first all the time.
Comes with all the training too, doesn't it? Being able to trust what you see out of the periphery.
Yep.
Versus, what you see really clearly, trusting that you know that your players are going to be into that space. You spoke about that earlier as well, Bo, that when you're not the player directly impacting the ball, that you've got a role to get into the right spots.
Yep.
And that all comes with that game awareness too. Holly Britton follows up the work, so gets it back again. And can she find the target inside 50? It was Wally. She follows up with a nice tackle as well. Russo tumbles forward. Foot race on between the two 22s from the look of it. Nice bit of body work. Oh, great smother.
Fantastic.
That's
smother.
a great smother. And tackles as well to follow up that work.
That's what we like to see. Fantastic.
From the ground, Tessa Liddington. That 30 seconds was all yours. And an excellent kick to start to get out to Cruz. What a great bit of contest that was. Liddington, highlight. Cruz finds Krimpotic. How have we only just had to first say that for the
We were
first
a bit
time?
worried about that early, weren't we? Great kick.
Yep, right it is.
She's been very good, right?
And backing herself with the run. 2 bounces, they're good as well. Puts it on the boot. Just overran it, so Black with a chance to come out.
And this is where we want to see Zippy go
Yeah.
and get it back.
So she follows up here is what you're after. She's just hovering behind. Nice work from Fisher instead to become an option. Again, need to keep following this work now. Papalia. Is it Papalia or Papalia? Lovely question to
I think it's Papalia.
Papalia. Question to no one.
And apologies if it's not.
Teakle. 2 minutes to go in this third term. Just the 2 points in it. It's not the highest of scoring games, but it's been entertaining nonetheless. Karras kicks it forward, just stays inside the boundary line and then rolls over. And we'll see Crane, I think, with the kick to bring it back in. She's got an option to go backwards, but she looks forward instead. Off the left. It just goes through Goebbels' legs, but she stays in the play. Abby Westra.
Put her, that's the old hospital
Yeah.
hand past that one.
Yeah, not one you want to see back. Wally, look at that pace. Jezerski Brown with the 31 for gold, trying to get it forward. Oh, it's busted 3, front door. Here we go. Thomas. She had one look at it earlier and it sort of shied to the right. She does some fancy footwork. Needs some players to follow up. They do now. Smother. And tackle pressure from the forwards. Oh, it still makes its way out. They didn't quite close it down.
Comes Wally.
30 seconds left. Wally's come right up the ground. Here we go, Gold. 30 seconds, just under. Can they go to this final break in the lead? They're only the 2 points down and it's in their forward 50. They've given the free kick away. Riley Fisher. Kicks truly. Again, still. Siren sounds. 3/4 time. Well, it's a thrilling game. We're set up for a barnstorming 4th quarter. It is 3-4-22 to 3-2-20. Slocum with 2 goals in that 3rd quarter has changed the game dramatically. Gold, they trail by just 2 as we head into the 3/4 time break. We'll return here for the AFLW National Development Championships brought to you by NAB. In just a moment, we'll get the thoughts of Bo McDonald leading in to the final quarter.
Back working here. Welcome back here to the Provident Financial Oval, home of the West Perth Falcons, the old Cardinals from back in the day. What did you think of the 3rd quarter, Jen?
Yeah, good. Now that I've got my microphone up and running again, I'm not sure what I was doing there. Apparently I can't press the button very well. It was a thrilling 3rd quarter. Gold really stepped it up. We went to the halftime break with a 14-point lead to Black, and Slocum 2 goals in that 3rd quarter. It's cut it right back to just the 2 points in it leading into this fourth quarter. Seeing the pictures of Black just taking on board some hydration. We'll throw through some of the highlights as well, Bo, but yeah, Gold, we asked them to come back and cut that deficit, and they did.
They did. Look, we're just seeing on the replays there, Olivia Crane dropping back and taking a mark. That's also a great mark there by Lara Thomas from Peel Thunder, and then the ability to try and get the handball out to a player coming past, and Slocum ended up kicking the goal. That was a fantastic bit of play. Look, White Gold did score 2 goals in that quarter and done some really good stuff. I was really impressed with the way the Black team tried to move the ball out of the defensive 50. Once they got to the midfield and started going forward, they were turning over a bit. But those first little choices they make when they're exiting, they were the right choices. They'll kick into advantage. It was the right percentage option towards the boundary line, so it's not going to come back on the inside of them at a contest that might just go out. I think it was just really good percentage play. So yeah, that was good to see. And when you've got an Norbury and Fish down there with their pace, and that's the beauty of Zippy Fish down in the back line, is when she gets the ball, more often than not, she's going to hit a target. And it's that pressure release kick when you're completely under the pump, you've turned the ball back over inside your defensive 50, you're not sure what's going on. If you can just get an uncontested mark, it's just a massive pressure release. And yeah, Zippy Fish and Norbury showed the ability to do that, and that's why it's good having some pace and a good kicker down in your back 6 or back 5 today.
And Rosso was good as well for Black,
Yes.
just unable to really hit the scoreboard, but she looked dangerous and she was thrown up forward as well.
Yeah, she showed some good pace today. She started down back, and I spoke about it before. It's a bit like what Zippy's been doing. She was doing down there. She was able to use her pace to get to the ground balls in the back 50. Let's see if she can get stuck into it in the forward 50.
Tessa Liddington, we just saw on those last sort of 20 seconds of the highlights just then. Tessa Liddington, the 22 for Gold, had this period of play just then you saw on the highlight where it was one-on-one with the 22 from Black in Olivia Woolmarans. Followed that up, brought it to ground, smothered, and then whilst on the ground, laid a tackle. Just excellent game awareness and desire to impact the game.
Well, let's have a look at all the goals kicked in today's game, and they we got on the replay here. So this first one here, it's Papalia too, by the way, so we apologise for that. Alana Papalia from East Fremantle finishing off there. Tina Mendoza getting the handball out here to Zoe Keeley, I think it was, from South Fremantle. She's 181 centimetres. We like 180 plus, Jen.
Yeah, I don't live in that world. Much shorter than that.
It's number 11 there from Caversham Footy Club, kicking a goal.
Yeah, Lily Patterson. And then Crane, 27 for Gold. Lovely finish off the left.
Ranging left foot.
And this was the first of Slocum's multiple in the third quarter. Good use of her hips there. And then this one was where it was impressive. She was strong through the contest here, being held back. Still able to have that goal sense, sneak it through.
Yeah, well done.
So 3-4-22. A 2-point lead to Black over 3-2-20.
So we've got a pretty even contest now, obviously scoreboard-wise, that's pretty obvious, but looking at the stats, the inside 50s now. The Gold team's 19, the Black side's 22, so that's even right up. Rebound 50s are very similar, 15 to 16. The Black side's had 16, the Gold side's had 15. Disposal-wise, I suppose there's only 34 disposals different to the Black team, so they've had a little bit more of the ball, to 80 for the Gold side. But yeah, looking through the stats, there's not much here that really sticks out. I think the game's gone in ebb and flows, and we're sitting pretty even at the moment. And big last quarter, great opportunity. This is the time in the game where, as a young player, you get to you want to try and show what you got.
That's what we'd like to see now. 16 each side and 16 people going for the win.
Oh, definitely, yep. Definitely attack the game. Ellie spoke to them before the game and just spoke about, we really wanted to free the girls up. Don't be afraid of making the wrong decision today. Just make the decision. We can educate that later. Like, let's just make them and not be frozen into not doing anything, which we saw a bit of in the first quarter in the first game. So it'll be a very similar message, I reckon, for this last quarter. Run and stun and have some fun.
That's a T-shirt model right there. That could be on part of your...
Don't you remember, Jen, the old Wildcats video? Yeah. I want to be a Wildcat.
Very true. But I'm seeing that as part of their warm-up uniform now, though. Run and stun and have some fun. Fourth quarter underway here at Provident Financial Oval. This is, of course, the NAB AFLW National Development Championships. Great to be bringing you the pictures, of course, from front row screens. Great supporters of women's footy in WA. Jen Wallace and the voice of Bo McDonald for this fourth quarter. Gold running to the right of screen. Black in defence currently. Who will put their hand up and have a big impact in this fourth quarter. Haynes sends it inside 50. Norbury looking to clean it up. Sticks on the plan at the moment. Finally gets it out. Nice handball. Just misses the target. And Gold able to come from behind. Another inside, repeat inside 50 entry and a lovely mark. Well, they just get into each other's way a little bit there, so there's no momentum as that handball was a short little handball, but lovely chip forward. Not 15, or might have been touched. Slocum, again, strong through the hips, trying to break free. Wasn't able to this time. And foot race on 2v2. Slocum pushed off the ball there nicely. And Harper Gamble able to bring it away for the black side. She finds Wally down the boundary line. She turns, just overcooks it slightly from Mia Pappas. Rowley doesn't clear the area, and instead it's right with the busting pace out of it. She's been good this second half, right? Tackle from Slocum, doesn't quite slow it up. And now there's numbers, hit the person in the corridor there. It's Patterson. She runs onto it. She's got time and space here, Bo.
Excellent, keep going. Just keep going. You'd love to see her take a couple more bounces and that entry go a little bit deeper, but she's actually kicked with advantage and forward.
Very nicely.
Showed a bit of composure, yeah.
Yeah, we had another chance to take a couple. What have we got here? Walmarans.
She's been everywhere.
Ball in hand. Lovely mark from her running back over her left shoulder. It's got the distance. And it's been through. Great start to the fourth quarter for the black side. They worked that beautifully from defence all the way through.
Yeah, Walmarans, for me, she's... The question is, where do you play her? She's just showed ability on every line she's played on in these two games. So it's probably what your team needs. But, yeah, fantastic agility. She's great in the air. She's good on the ground. She can kick straight in front of goal. And I think her best quality is how hard she runs. She's just been running every opponent off today, and that's how she gets out and gets her ball when she's in the midfield. Or she looks like a midfielder, but she's actually coming off like half-back, and she's got the run to get back when she needs to.
She read the drop of that kick very, very well, didn't she? To mark that running back over her left shoulder. Like head to another clearance win to Black. Bit of momentum swing. There she is again. Walmarans from a very similar position. Settle yourself down.
Good clean footy there. Nice pass from Gemma Hill.
Not quite the distance this time. Walmarans, but she's in a dangerous position. And Wally stayed down. She didn't jump up with the contest. She follows up now. Walmarans onto the right boot and over the top of what's basically a goalkeeper there. And she's kicks two in quick succession for the Blacks.
I like Wally's pace. If she had a left foot there, she probably would have got herself a goal. And I reckon it's something we really need to start working on from 12, 13, 14 years of age with the young girls now, is the ability to kick on both feet and the handball on both feet, because it just opens up a whole another market. We see a lot of times turning back into trouble just because it can't go on to the other foot.
Well, she did everything right, didn't she? Staying down. Yeah, she read that it's going to come down, I can crumb this, but as you say, just didn't back the left foot.
Yep, and we see like, I think it was Erin Phillips last year, just the ability to go on the wrong side of a foot in the 50 and kick a goal on the left. It just opens up a whole nother market.
So it's 5-4, 34, plays 3-2, 20. Black have gone bang, bang at the start of this fourth term. 2 goals to Walmarans. There's the ball again coming to the left of screen. Black pressing hard in this opening stages of the fourth term. Gold having to absorb some pressure. I want to open the game out as well. Umpire sees a free. That'll help Gold head back down by Crane. Goes out to Haynes. Wasn't clean, so now she's under a bit of trouble and she's caught with the ball.
You just said it then, Jen, the importance of clean hands. We do a lot of reflexes and touch for that exact reason.
Lovely kick back in board, finds Gamble. On the run here. It's a high ball inside 50. Everyone flies high. Cruz stayed back down for Gold. And they clean up now. Here's Cruz again. Just hoping to get that ball first touch. She runs back into trouble, trying to shrug it off. Finds Crane, who has to get low. Wasn't able to pick it up cleanly, but got the support. And Wally running backwards with the flight of the ball. She plays on with a handball and shepherds nicely to give her player space. And intercept again, right off fullback for Gold. This kick just as far as centre square. Russo, who's been dangerous, spots an unmarked Patterson, who settles under it. She's a couple of metres outside the 50, so she needs an option running towards her. Go into the pocket.
We were talking about it before, Jen. That's the kick I'd like to see go to a dangerous spot. I mean, yeah, in the big league and even in the AFL, they kick there because they want to keep the ball in that side of the ground. I'd like to see that come to the 15 metres out to the hot spots. Up, it does hit the deck. We've got some pressure there still and an ability to be able to kick a goal. The ball speed's not there for us to really worry about how it's going to come back out. We can cover it all still.
So that shorter kick heading more towards direction of goal as opposed to deep into the pocket. Makes sense to me. We are stuck in that pocket at the moment. Gold working their way back out. And there's a chance here for, I think that's Patterson again, potentially. Number 11. This time she does go a bit more towards that dangerous area into the goal square. Gold does well. There's some good pace, turn of pace. Sienna comes back inside, but unable to get any further than that. Zippy Fish is open. Again, doesn't take it on. It's almost that chance, I suppose, coaching-wise for this next week as Wally plays on immediately. But yeah, if we stay with this, as Rowley on the left looks for goal, and it's rushed behind. The idea to show her that footage and go, this is the space, here was the person behind you, back your pace and go. Maybe she needs to see it more.
Once you start moving, the defence starts moving and then you can make a decision. But still, it's still when you go to the AFLW level, the ability to be able to grab it and just quickly pull the trigger, she's very good at that. So it's more about encouraging her to do something else.
No, she's obviously got a very good natural understanding of footy, because very quick to know where she wants the ball to go. That Zippy Fish we're just discussing. It's been playing some league footy this year, I believe, at East Freo. At just, what, 15, 16 years of age?
It's a pretty good effort.
Coached by a dad in this WA Gold side. Well, no, sorry, opposite side to Dad, I should say.
We made sure she was in the opposite side.
Trip home will always be interesting.
Dad played a little bit of footy with Port Adelaide under Choco Williams days.
Crane, strong over the back. She's had a good game for getting in front of the likes of yourself. Be a name that you'll definitely be watching. Needs to get rid of it as defence was coming through. Good decision. Just over the top of Jezerski Brown. And Gold find themselves in a good position here if they can trap this ball in. It's found its way out the back door, turns back into trouble and right back into where all of the contest was in that instance.
That's what we were talking about before. If you have an opposite side to your body there, you're out. You're off and gone. Having to turn back into the congestion there.
Under 8 minutes to remain in this game. We're at Provident Financial Oval, home of the West Perth Falcons, who of course got the licence to head up into league footy. AFLW. Some good pace, foot race there. Lara Thomas, it was, just not able to reel in the ball, and a lovely kick out sees Alana Papalia. What did we end up saying was the right way to say it?
Papalia.
God. Papalia. We've said it so many times now, it's one of those words that you forget which way was the right way. Liddington slightly in towards the centre, but still very much on the far wing, right in the middle of the field. So to no advantage for either side at the moment. Ball in dispute. .55.35 to 3.2.20. Black have built back out to that 15-point margin. And they head back out to the wing side instead of completing the switch further out to the open space. Umpire calls for it. Have a throw in on that far side, basically centre of the field. Strong tap down to the advantage of Black, but sweeping out the back door there for Gold. Clears it up. Looked like she was going to continue to play on Cruz. She got called to eventually. Norbury holding it in. And a good contest with Ruby Freeman.
Megan Norbury from West Perth. The Falcons struggling a bit at the AFLW, but they've got plenty of young talent coming through.
Rosso busts her way through traffic. Marins.
That was clever, just to not pick the ball up, to knock it out with a foot and give herself a bit more time and space. Really clever football.
Incredible football from Marins. You were calling it smart footy, kept it out in front, kept it alive, and to her own advantage.
Yeah, she just showed an awareness. If she picked that first ball up there, she's tackled. So she just toe poked it out a little bit, gave herself a little bit more room, and away she went. A little bit of a fist pump, and good to see her smiling.
Well, she's got 3 in this last quarter, so gives you a tick towards her fitness as well, being able to have this much impact in the 4th term.
She's certainly leading the running for the 3 votes so far, I reckon, Jen.
Well, 3-goal effort here. And her first game, game 1, I think I looked into the stats, she had 21 disposals in the first game as well. Yep. She's definitely put her name up there. Largest margin of the game so far, 21 now to Black. That's 6-5-41 to 3-2-20. Gold, after doing a lot of hard work in the 3rd quarter, haven't been able to impact the scoreboard in this 4th term. Is this their opportunity? Looks like Norbury cleaning up again off half-back. Handball over the top. Clever kick, finds Patterson, who handballs over the top, tries to run on and follow up her own. We bring it to ground. Ball in dispute. Read it well.
Bang, and a bounce.
And a bounce there, Lucy Greenwood. And again.
Like it. And hit the target. Fantastic play. No point taking the game on like that and turning it over. That was a fantastic kick.
Slocum on the end of some great work. Unfortunately, just cooks the kick. You could see what she was trying to do. She was trying to get it to Thomas. Just fell that little bit shorter, and the intercept mark was taken. Fishenwright go at it. Oh, that's a great mark.
Is that Evie Coucher?
It is.
I think it is.
We're in the 16. Great intercept mark. Read that ball beautifully. Everyone stays down. Tries to go the strong fist right. Slocum again.
Slocum's just a young one, born in 05. So plenty of time.
05.
Oh dear.
That scares me so much. We are at the under 16s though, I suppose. So
Yes.
got to remember that. So much talent out there at 15, 16 years of age, and so much ahead of them throughout footy pathways these days. 2 minutes 20 remain. Some strong tackling in this back end of the fourth quarter. Natasha Entwistle brought down strongly. So top of the 50. Comes out the front door for Black. Riley Fisher in the headgear, chases hard after it. Here's Walmarans. What can she affect this time? Finds the handball, just isn't quite release it, almost. Fisher again. She's followed up, keeps running forward. God, nice little release, 1-2. Finds the target beautifully in Blizzard. She keeps it going forward. They've got to keep going forward. Stream it forward here, Gold. And just slightly high. And Russo get to settle. Take the free kick, take some time off the clock. Just over a minute remains. Time enough for Gold to get one last bite of the cherry. If they can get it forward now and get a mark inside 50.
Over the back.
Right, sends it long. Again, another foot race. Just turns to the advantage of the defence.
Rukatana showing her strength there, just the big dusty, don't argue, get off me.
It's definitely had the size advantage, purely height, tall back versus a small forward. Just around 30, 40 seconds remaining until the final siren. Can Gold get on the board? Will Black hold on? 21 points so far. The big fourth quarter all in the back of Walmaran's 3-goal effort so far. It's coming back in. One last opportunity. Oh,
She's
right
gone.
plays on. Takes on the run and it's a behind. 3-3-21. Right, she's been good though. Took on the game and there's the final siren. As the Torpy kicked it out of defence, it is Black by 26-5, 41, 3-3, 21. Black win by 20 in this second game of the NAB AFLW National Development Championships, all on the back of a stellar fourth quarter from Walmaran's 3-goal effort in the fourth. Bo, you must be super stoked with her performance in that fourth quarter. In fact, in the whole game.
Yeah, look, both games, she's been really good, and she could walk away from this knowing that she showed an ability to play across all lines. Very athletic. Wright was fantastic in there today as well. Georgia Haynes showed how she can be tough over the ball. Mia Russo really impressed me. Showed some zip and some pace off the back line. Zippy Fish showed that as well. Norbury also showed some real pace across that back half of the ground. And when you've got ground speed in your back half, and your defenders can kill the ball and bring it to ground, and you know you've got a couple of quicks that can mop it up and use it and release that pressure, that's absolute gold. So really looking forward to seeing those two girls progress. I think I like Rukatana's game today. She was in amongst it. She's quite a she plays with a bit of physical strength, and I like the way she used that around the clearances when she was in the middle of the ground. She went down to full back for the last quarter. Maybe the coaches just wanted to see how she could play that role.
All right, time to put your expert tag to.
Oh, this is hard.
This is the money time for you. 3, 2, 1. Start with your 1 point getter, one vote getter.
Look, I've given it to Mia Russo. I thought she was fantastic, but Megan Norbury, just a little mention, very lucky to miss out on my 1 vote. So yeah, I've gone 1 vote Mia Russo.
Okay, Russo, number 12 in the black.
Number 12 in the black, yep.
Your 2 votes.
13 for the gold. Claudia Wright, I've given it to her. She had 21 kicks. She almost turned the game around.
She
for them.
did.
She was very noticeable. Just another mention also to Olivia Crane. She could have also been up around there. She played really well. So yeah, the 2 votes goes to Wright from the gold side.
And your 3 vote effort?
3 vote effort goes to Walla Morans, from the black side, like we spoke about before. She was fantastic. Played everywhere, and I think kicking 3 goals in the last quarter really sealed that deal. So yeah, that was my 3-2-1, but there's certainly 3 or 4 other players in there that have been very unlucky to not get the votes.
Well, just repeating those 3-2-1s from Bo McDonald. 1 to Russo, 2 to Wright for the gold, and 3 to Walmarans, who stood up when the game needed to be decided, and a decisive 3-goal effort in the 4th quarter sees Walmarans a deserved victor of the 3 votes from Bo McDonald. It's been a brilliant game here at Provident Financial Oval, the second of the NAB AFLW National Development Championships. Gold versus black. It was black to take it out today, 6-5-41 to 3-3-21. Reminder of the goal kickers, it was Walmarans with 3 in the 4th quarter. Papalia, Keeley and Patterson with 1 for the black, and for the gold, Slocum, she got them back into the game in the 3rd with 2 goals in the 3rd quarter, and Crane with 1 back in the 2nd quarter. Fantastic game, great to bring it to you on front row screens. Of course, this competition supported by NAB. Bo McDonald, thank you for your company across today.
Thanks, Jen. It's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing many of these names continue their journey through AFLW, and whether it's as star players or through the coaching ranks, some of the staff here as well. Big thanks to all those involved in getting this game up and running. Thank you, Front Row Screens, for all your work today, and of course to NAB for their support of the AFLW National Development Championships. Bye for now.